New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Welcome to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Your hosts are two girls who believe that life is awesome, that laughter heals, and that it's possible to find deep spiritual insights in everyday experience.
Here come the girls. It's more than practical. Here come the girls. Way more than merely factual. If you want to know the secrets of a life that's free, listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically.
Girls Behaving Metaphysically. That's us. I am Robyn Rice Olmsted.
And I'm Dr. Natasha Wilson, who needs to clear her voice.
And we are here today with you. So excited to be here. Girls Behaving Metaphysically. What the heck does that mean?
Yeah, I think for me, it just means that we are two girls. Yeah. But it's not exclusive to girls, but we're two girls who are willing to see and know that there is no place that the divine is not.
That is just the perfect one sentence answer. It's true. It's exactly who we are.
Yes.
So, okay. So today we are going to do what all metaphysical girls do, is look for a sign from the universe, right? And, it can come in any form, but we choose right now on our show to pull a card. I pulled a card just moments ago.
Oh,
to let me know where I was, because I've been going so fast I hardly know where I am at any given moment. And my card was in the flow.
I love it. I love it.
Everything is smooth sailing, which was so contradictory to everything I was feeling. So I had to breathe.
I love it. I love it. So do you want to go with that card since you've already pulled it, or would you like to pull another one as well?
No, you go ahead and pull one. I just was letting you know that I'm in the flow.
You're in the flow. I like that. I can get with that. I can get with it. Okay, so let's see what card we get today. I'm going to use a different deck next week. I've already decided. But today we get Consciously Complete. Let's see.
Consciously complete.
I like the image too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Consciously complete. So what does that mean to you?
Well, for me, when I look at it, and I'm just going to look at it right now, for me, it literally means to bring something to completion, but with my full awareness. To bring something to completion with my full awareness. So not just to finish up things or go through things haphazardly, but to really be present, and to be present with the goal in mind of bringing it to completion. And I have a lot of things in my life that feel like that right now, actually. So, yeah. What about you?
Well, interesting. First, I want to say howdy right back at Wayne out there, who's saying howdy to the cowgirls. Howdy to you, big cowboy. For me, conscious completion, it really, to me, it meant in that moment, knowing that, trusting that it's always consciously completed. even when I don't feel like, I feel like there's more to do or something undone, or even like rushing into the studio today and feeling like, okay, there's 3 minutes, blah blah blah, and leaving something else that I was doing, just knowing that it's completed no matter what it looks like. And even if I don't feel like, well, that's not the way I would have done it, I wish I would have done this, and I should have done that, and what if I don't do that, and how will everybody get along without if I don't do this? It's just taking a breath and going, that would have, all of that would have been very interesting, and this is what happened, therefore it's complete. Not lingering in what hasn't happened. That's what came up for me when you said
okay. Yeah. It also, to me, goes along with the card that you pulled on your own, the going with the flow,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I woke up feeling very like, I'm not pushing today. I'm not pushing. I'm really going to let life pull me wherever I need to go, and not with resistance, because sometimes life will be pulling me in a certain direction, but I'm very resistant. But I don't feel that. I woke up feeling really, really present. And that made me think that I should tell people where we are, right? So I'm here in Australia, in Brisbane, in the land of Queens. This morning, I also thought I should really do the custodial acknowledgement, which is what we do here, which is we pay acknowledgement to the traditional custodians of the land, past, present, and emerging. And so I would really, really like to do that right now and express my gratitude that I get to live in such a beautiful place.
Yeah, that's great. And I would say, I know you haven't been around on the other side, for a while, because you've been living in Australia now for 4 years.
No, I've been living here almost 7.
Wow. Wow, we've known each other a long time now. Oh, time eludes me.
We've known each other since either 2015 or 16.
Wow. Anyway, but what I was going to say is that that's happening a lot more here in the States as well, like acknowledging the land we're standing on and acknowledging, who's been here before and things like that. And I think that's a great honoring and acknowledgement. I mean, well, depending upon what your beliefs are and where you are, but like, not only that, it could be acknowledging the ancestors, it could be calling in the ancestors, it could be, paying, whatever it means to you. I feel like it's a good circle event. I feel like it can mean so many different things.
Yeah. I think it's also really important, so here we say, we usually name the language group of the people whose land we live on. But when we don't know that, we just, we acknowledge the traditional custodians. But I think the really big important part of that for me is not just the past, but we say we acknowledge the past, the present, and the emerging. Because I think sometimes there's this notion that Indigenous people are somehow in the past. No, they're here, and there are new leaders and new custodians emerging, and it's important to really hold space for that, and to keep our hearts open. I just think, I don't know, I'm particularly in love with Queensland. I have to be honest. I always said, of course, I would land in a place called Queensland, the land of the queens. Like, what else could this queen land? Anyway, so I really love this place. So for me, it is, it's something that I strive to really remember. Yeah, and I feel like I haven't been, but I woke up with it on my mind today. So
cool. Yeah. Very cool. Well, we're going to talk about a lot of things today. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but we're going to talk about the summer solstice, or solstice in general, right?
Yep, because it's winter solstice here.
It's winter solstice there, summer solstice here, and what that means, and how to be in the flow. And what was the other card?
How to consciously complete.
How to consciously complete, or consciously begin, since we're moving through into a solstice.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go to break. And in the meantime, Wayne has requested prayer, since he is a New Thought Media Network addict. He'd like us to pray for him. But I'll tell you all that being a New Thought Media addict is not such a bad thing. You can find all kinds of different shows here. We invite you to meet our colleagues and look around and see what's going on. We got shows at all different hours of the day, and you can flip the channels and go to the music side and listen to great music. So there's lots you can do on New Thought Media Network. We invite you to check that out. But make sure you bookmark our show, because you don't want to miss that.
Yeah,
so we're going to be right back here in just a few minutes after these words from New Thought Media Network. See you here.
Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center, Ottawa, Om Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. Thank you for being part of the New Thought Media Network. Please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring.
People of African Descent New Thought Group proudly presents Celebrating Our Soul, Consciously Creating Change at Unity Village, Thursday, August 1st through Sunday, August 4th. Some of our greatest keynote speakers, some of our finest musicians and vocalists, some of our amazing and experienced panelists, and some of our fabulous masterclass presenters will be there for you at Celebrating Our Soul, Consciously Creating Change at Unity Village this summer. Regular registration ends June 30th, so don't delay. Register today at padntg.com. Sponsorship opportunities are available at padntg.com. Volunteer opportunities are available at padntg.com. Go there now, padntg.com. See you there.
Welcome to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Your hosts are two girls who believe that life is awesome, that laughter heals, and that it's possible to find deep spiritual insights in everyday experience.
Here come the girls. It's more than practical. Here come the girls. Way more than merely factual. If you want to know the secrets of a life, it's free. Listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Listen to girls behaving metaphysically.
We are back. I am Robyn Rice Olmsted.
And I'm Dr. Natasha Wilson, and we're girls behaving metaphysically.
Yes, we
on
are.
Opposite sides of the planet.
On opposite sides of the world. And I know there's people out there joining us, so let us know where you're joining from.
Yeah.
See, it's interesting the way we weave this connection, right, around the planet. So let us know where you are. I know we have Wayne out there in Calgary. So we got Canada, Australia, the US. Look at us go. So today we're going to delve a little bit into the summer solstice and see where that goes. So I know last week was the solstice, and like a good metaphysical girl, I did go to my summer solstice circle, and I was even a speaker there. What are you taking notes on? What are you writing?
I was just writing down that it's winter solstice here.
Winter. All right. I was like, what could you possibly take notes on in this moment? Welcome to Maverick Johnson. Hello. Good to see you out there. So I went to the summer solstice circle that was on Zoom, and I was one of the speakers. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was so funny because, as I'd said to Natasha, I was like, I don't really know what the solstice is. I mean, I know what it is. I know that it's the, shortest day here and the longest day there, and
longest day there, shortest day here.
Yeah, here it's all relative, but yeah, you get the idea. So tell me what you know about the solstice. Tell me why it's important, or what's
for me, I've always, not always, but for a very long time now, at least 20, moving into maybe 30 years, felt really connected to earth-based forms of spirituality. And for me, the solstice in particular, so here is when, we're in winter solstice season. Winter solstice has happened. We're in the season of this winter solstice. And winter solstice is about like really going within. It is about taking a kind of an inventory of one's life and really deciding like what qualities of self am I really wanting to I'm really wanting to contemplate, and that I'm really wanting to grow. And also winter solstice is also about going with the rhythm of slowing down, because traditionally it's colder, you want to be more indoors and more insular. But so for me, winter solstice is really, it's about a movement inward. It's about a movement into contemplation. So, yeah. What about the opposite? So in summer, right? Summer is about outward movement. So I wonder what that's bringing up for you.
Well, yeah, what I know about solstices period is it's the time when you set your intentions,
mm-hmm.
and
mm-hmm.
Open up to what you want to come in, and it seems that's any season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so I mean, so summer. If we're going with the opposite, I was going to say the equinox. If we're going with the opposite, I would guess it's about the warmth and the being out and the being. I would say more connective. Like whereas winter's more the hibernating time and summer's more the connection out in the open, playful time is what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. Well, quite literally, I'm having, well, I don't know, it's all one, and we know that, but, and I am certainly on the other side of that, really, really going in. I'm even looking at things that, like, I saw my doctor yesterday, and I put on some weight, and my usual way that I deal with that is like, okay, let me like pull it together. What am I doing? What am I eating? What am I eating too much of? What am I doing? But I thought about it in the context of the winter solstice, and like some weight gain is like normal for winter solstice because the body is preparing for the colder weather. Still, I am drinking too much wine, which I think is the issue. So anyways, I am for winter solstice, really looking at ways to really embrace the fluctuations in the movements with regards to just my body and the way that my body is like representative of this season that I'm in on this side of the world. But also, yeah, I can have one less glass of wine and be just fine.
Yeah, so you're looking at what that's, yeah, you're looking at like moderation, and it's kind of like, I mean, that sort of goes along with that kind of hibernating thing, right? You know, it's kind of like, what are you doing for the winter? What are you storing? What are you keeping? How do I want to say it? Like not keeping track of, but moderating. I think you said that, right?
Yeah, it is moderating. It is moderating. Are you looking something up right now, Robyn?
I am.
Can tell you have your research face on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because I think it's fascinating though, and I think it's every year it becomes somewhat more popular, like our producer is saying here, summer solstices are meant to be days of growth and expansion in consciousness. And winter solstice welcomes back the light from the darkest day of the year. Winter solstice reminds us that the light is always there, even in the darkest times.
Yeah.
So that means there will be more wine come the light.
Not for this girl. I really, really, really. You ever go to your doctor? I don't know. I was in my doctor's office and I got on the scale and I was like I couldn't even believe it. I was like, okay, a little bit too much. So anyways, I will not be taking that into contemplation. But I think, that definition, like looking at the definition that our producer just put up about winter solstice, it really goes back to like what we talked about, like what's a girl behaving metaphysically, right? We are willing to see and know and acknowledge that the divine is everywhere, always, in all places. So even the light is always there, even in the darkest places. So the divine is there, even in the darkest places. So I feel like it goes back to what it means ultimately to be a girl behaving metaphysically.
Yeah, I hear you. I was thinking the one thing I was looking at earlier when I looked up solstice for a brief moment was there was a thing that was talking about the question of who first figured out the longest day of the year that corresponds to the sun's highest point in the sky, blah blah. Who did that? And they have the name of an astronomer, but it really was that no one knows who discovered the solstice, and that there's no writing to record the great discovery, that it's just kind of lost out there in the midst of time. And it just, I mean, it leads me to think about like what we know about time and space and things like that. I mean, things like that are fascinating to me because it's like, where did this come from and when did it become a thing? And I mean, I know over the last, 20 years or something, like it's become way more popular. I mean, now there's celebrations all the time and, the women's circle and the drumming circle and the this circle, and they're going to beat the drum on the solstice and we're going to call it, you know what I mean? It's like, it seems to, I mean, kind of snowball as the years go to bigger things.
I think also it's like the circles you move in. So like I was saying, like I, in some way, at least close to 30 years, I've been connected to like earth-based spiritual traditions. And so it's always been in like sort of in my awareness for a really long time. Like I'm not, in terms of like the astronomical component of it, no, I'm not like, oh yeah, winter solstice. But when I'm connected to community in particular, yeah, I'm sort of used to acknowledging at least the solstice and the equinoxes, and always seem to align with certain holidays as well. Like we know, like equinox is usually, at least spring equinox usually coincides with things like Easter, and so we, there are all these ways in which I think, these are ancient traditions, right?
Yes.
Of acknowledging these movements in the season. So it makes a lot of sense to me that they can't figure out who discovered it, because ancient peoples have tracked the movement of seasons since we existed, I guess. It's at the heart of early agriculture, but even before agriculture, when we were mostly hunter-gatherers, i.e. foragers. So we've tracked these movements for a long time. They coincide with like just our movements. We're earth beings as well, so we have these similar cycles and patterns in our own experience as human beings.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. And I'm not, I think we're on the same page. I'm not really saying that there's it's not that it's hasn't been around. I mean, it's definitely like, I mean, I've heard about solstice my whole life, and the Greeks and the Romans and everybody had a different way of worshiping the sun and the moon and the winter and the this and the that. But I'm just saying, over the years, what I've noticed is that now that there's more girls behaving metaphysically, or people more in tune, like, and it's, I mean, you got to admit, it's become, like everything else in our world, somewhat of a marketing opportunity for different people, because, there's, if you have a summer solstice party, you've got to, do this and you've got to do that. And, there's, when I was just kind of scanning it on the internet, there's, 20 great things to do at your solstice event, and, 13 great rituals. And not that they're not great, but it's become more of a thing,
Yeah, it's become more popular in terms of I think in popular parlance, like, I think it's more popular to talk about it as it is. Again, I think, like our producer just said, the solstice has been times of gathering and celebration for centuries. That's absolutely the case. And for many reasons, it's often been forgotten, and we sometimes don't realize, like, a lot of our sort of religious traditions and religious holidays are also ones that are connected to the solstices and the equinoxes. So yeah, but I hear what you're saying about, like, it's coming back into sort of like popular parlance for people to talk about those cycles very explicitly, and to celebrate them very explicitly. And yes, we are in the West, the home of capitalism. So yes, everything gets commodified. There's no way around that.
So true. So true. So how does it affect you? Like, I think, like, I mean, it's kind of when we've talked generally about seasons, like, how does it affect you going into the winter solstice? Is there, obviously, like you said, you're a bit more reflective. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was also saying, like, the other thing that I've noticed is just like, because I'm an earthling, which means I am connected to Earth. I move with her shifts and her times. So I was saying, like, one of the things that I noticed was like how that movement with winter of like slowing down, being more reflective, being more internal, like how it's showing up like in terms of my physical body, but then also like even just to remember, oh, I need to do the acknowledgement of country, the traditional acknowledgement of country, right? Like, because I'm slowing down enough to sort of remember these things. So yeah, so it shows up in my life in that way in which like I slow down. I mean, even today, I just decided like, nope, I'm just doing the podcast because I've just been like this. Because I got this really lovely, beautiful, I'm grateful contract with the Department of Veteran Affairs. And I'm really grateful for the work, but it has kept me like really moving. It's so funny, moving but sitting still, which is part of like why I gained all this weight, because I don't move as much. I'm just sitting in this at a desk all the time. But some of that slowing down in one way has been really good, but on the other hand, like I feel like all of these movements, whether it's winter solstice, summer solstice, it is about looking at like balance to a certain extent, Yeah. What about you, Robyn?
Yeah, I mean, it makes me think about, because I don't usually feel very affected by summer. I mean, there are other seasons. I mean, I'm a fall girl. I love going into that fall,
Yes,
season, and that just feels homey and yummy to me. But I think also because I've grown up in California, there was a time, especially where we didn't experience like the seasons like that. It wasn't like the shift to summer wasn't that big a deal. It's not like we had a winter,
Yeah.
We had a rainfall and whatever. But it wasn't. So I don't think I really was affected by the seasons. Although it's interesting because I think that even like growing up, I used to wonder how. I guess it's from the media and from stories and things, but like how I got attached to like, oh, winter and snow and cold, and it should be like that, and I'm thinking, why do you think that? You've never had that in your life. I didn't see snow until I was like 20 something, but it's interesting. I think that like the summer, especially this summer, I'm getting ready to go to Albuquerque, and I'm pretty clear that I'm going to have a summer like I've never had because I'm going to the desert, right? And so I keep trying to like really not think about it a whole lot. I'm like, why did you pick to go there for so long now? But yeah, so I mean, it's interesting because I think I'm going to experience more of, I don't know, whatever's supposed to happen in the summer. But I feel like it's going to make me get out and go to the pool and do things differently than like here. I can be like, it's okay, it's not hot, or it's, I can go into the pool is just an easy, trip. Whereas I think it's going to be more of a necessity. Does that make sense?
It does. I actually lived in Albuquerque in the summer in the past. I can say it was fabulous for my hair. Like I had the greatest hair because I didn't have like the humidity because I grew up, it's very similar. I grew up in like New Orleans. So we had winter, but we didn't have I didn't experience snow until I moved to the Northeast. Well, actually to the Midwest, but always humidity. So I could never straighten my hair. When I moved to New Mexico, oh my God, I had the best hair. The best.
Yeah,
So
I get that. I get that. I was so excited when I was there last time. I got it blow dried and it lasted. Well, it actually still lasted. So
yeah, I know. I mean, we have to look for the bright spots.
Yeah, that's a girl thing. It's a girl thing. Yeah. So I mean, so it's just interesting. It's interesting to think about really how the seasons affect us, and and like I can't imagine having winter now and then having Christmas when it's hot.
Oh my God, it was traumatizing. Can I just tell you that? Like I'm not saying that lightly. I remember my first Christmas here. I remember I was like all dolled up. I was going to my partner's family's house and I actually had put on this little wig. Like it was so cute. And oh my God, I was sweating and it was hot and they were like eating seafood, like just spread out and I was sweating. And I was like, I wanted to rip this wig off my head and Santa's not coming here, right? It was like,
right?
I was traumatized.
Yeah.
I was like, get me out of this place.
Yeah, I can't imagine. And it's funny that I can't imagine because I have literally gone to the beach in California on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So, but it's different. Somehow it's different. It's still not like I can't imagine it being the dead of summer like that.
Oh, Robyn, I'm not joking. I was traumatized. I really was. I was traumatized. I was like, this is wrong. I was just like, and it was just so like, what is it, like surreal? Because, people had like Christmas trees with like fake snow and Santa was on a surfboard. I was like, this is.
Yeah, well, that's yeah. I mean, that's for me. That's cool when you buy like the ornament in Hawaii with Santa on the surfboard, But it's like it's tough to take in your own backyard.
Yes, it was a lot.
But we're reminded that Santa wears shorts when he delivers gifts south of the equator. Good. Santa has a wardrobe change. It's funny. Yeah. So yeah, I think all of those things play into though. Like, how do you feel more productive in one of the seasons?
I really like the fall. Okay, so fall, because in the US, I'm a fall baby. I was born in the fall. I'm an October child. I thrive in the fall. Like once it's like late September, I just start feeling so good. And and it is when I do, like, I feel like I am the most productive, but it's so weird to like be a spring baby here. So I'm still wrapping my head around, even though I've lived here for nearly 7 years, like there's some things that can, it's still things I'm not used to. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I feel the same.
Most productive.
I feel the same. I get more productive, I think, in fall. I mean, I'm pretty good. Probably up until, I'm pretty good all year round, but probably, like through fall and winter, Although winter, you kind of slow down and want to snuggle in. I do.
I do too. I do. Although this winter, because like I have to drop a few pounds, I'm making myself move. So I've been walking a little bit more. But again, winter here is so mild.
Yeah.
It
Well,
is so mild.
I think going into summer, I feel like, it's really, it's almost like taking off outfits, taking off clothes. I think that I need to let go of some things, to be able to go smoothly into the fall like that.
Okay.
That's okay. 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 You are busy multitasking, reading comments.
Can you tell I'm reading the comments? Oh my God. It's so hard.
I can. So just for all of our viewers, I want you to know that when she turns and she's not looking at me, is not because she's doing something else. She's looking at her computer screen, because it doesn't look like that. I felt very hurt for a while. I was like, what are you doing? But that's
Robyn, you do it. You do it too. You do it too. And I'm like, I just roll with it.
No, but you go like this. My computer's right here, so even if I'm multitasking, I'm still generally facing you. So, anyway, so what? Anything else about this topic?
Not really.
All right. Well, here's what I think. I think that we should pull another card for what everybody needs to take out into the week.
I like that. So do you want to pull from your deck?
I do.
Awesome.
I do. I really like this deck, and I haven't really looked at it a lot, but here we go. You tell me when.
Okay. Did you drop them?
I caught him. I caught him without turning my head. All right. Here we go. Shuffling. So just set your intention, everyone, on what's yours to know for the week, because this message is just for you.
Okay. Stop.
Solitude.
Mm.
In the silence, peace prevails. Here we go.
That sounds like a winter solstice type thing.
Yeah, in the silence, peace prevails.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
It kind of brings me back to the card you pulled just in the about completion and just that. I mean, that's what that moment felt like to me. Just that moment of being quiet and being still. And yeah, I think when I get quiet and still, and then I know that there's only peace, which is, it can be a challenge. I mean, especially, as you know, I say this all the time, but with kids and teenagers and partners, marriage, it's those are ongoing. Those are things that don't stop.
Yes,
they're 24/7, and I think there are times when, in the midst of seeming chaos, or when things don't look like I think they should, or if I happen to catch a glimpse of the news or a headline, it's like to really just stop and be still and be in the solitude of knowing the knowingness that peace prevails, that God is peace, that's what's there.
It's interesting because you know a little bit about my journey with prayer. And so I just didn't pray. I wasn't a prayer. I wasn't a praying type person. I like the silence of meditation. I like the silence of meditation. Like, I remember, like, I just didn't like to hear my own voice in my own head. So the degree to which I could have that quiet in my head is what I sought. But I'm having a new relationship with prayer. I know I told you that. And so I feel like prayer is like this, is like taking thought and conditioning it to be conscious. And I do that now before I sit in the sort of what feels like the emptiness or the nothingness that I experience, that I love with meditation. And I'm saying that to say, like, every morning now I wake up, it's actually in my calendar. I have a calendar, like, now I have pray in the morning and then I pray at night. But my part of my prayer is always that my daughters and my partner, that they remember, or that they experience themselves as a focus point of the divine on the planet. And there's something about that, even when I think that's the first prayer thought in the morning. And I find I can move into the silence, because the solitude of meditation, even when I wake up and I hear them, no, this one won't, she's taking the milk and she's taking the cereal and she got my socks and she took my toy, and dad is not listening, whatever. There's something about starting with prayer that has allowed me to move into the solitude and to even be in those moments and still have the solitude. It's like being the storm and the quiet in the center of the storm, you know? Yeah. I feel like prayer has set it up that I can have actually more solitude, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. You know, I think that it's an interesting thing. It's like I get this visual in my head of, like, you know, the person sitting in meditation or in the stillness with, like, the chaos going on around them, you know? And it's like, it's training. I mean, on some level, that's what's always going to be there if we're looking for it. You know, so it's like we have to create it ourselves on some level. So I guess that is the calling forth of the card today.
Yeah.
How can you create that in your life? How can you take that into your week? You know, and I think what you're saying is, you know, prayer is a great way to start. And remember, everybody, that prayer is not there. You know, in Science of Mind, we do a 5-step treatment. At Agape, we do a 6-step treatment. A treatment is just the spoken word. You know, in different faiths, you do it a different way. And all of that said, really, your prayer is your conversation with God. And it doesn't have to be done one way or another. Your prayer happens, you know, in every word you speak. You know, so the call is to be conscious of what's coming forth through you and how you're representing that, and knowing that that's your prayer. And that's, you know, that's that can be a challenge. Different days are different for everybody.
It is. It really, really is. It really is. So I think that it's a beautiful thing to sort of leave people with, to sort of contemplate. And it'd be good to hear from people who are on this here next week, like if they really follow through with this call, which is, Robyn, can you read it again?
Nope. Solitude. I put it, nope, I cannot read it again. I will look for it.
You shuffled it back in the deck.
I put it back in the deck. You know, yes, I did. And I turned the cards all different way. So, in the solitude, I will find it again, and I will think of you all. But right now, nope.
Okay. Well, I am going to sort of what's the word? I think it starts with a P. When you paraphrase, I'm going to paraphrase.
Yeah.
Yeah. So over the course of this next week, how can solitude be a core part of your spiritual practice? And how can you be aware of the insights that emerge in the solitude? And even solitude when all of life is happening, because life will be happening, whether that's children or family or partners or pets or neighbors or work or whatever. How can solitude be experienced and practiced? Does that sound like a paraphrase of the card and the question we would like to leave people with today?
Yeah. Oh, look, I have it. I shuffled them all together, but not that one. It's on the side of my desk.
Of course.
I guess it pays to turn my head every now and then. Okay. Solitude. In silence, peace prevails. Solitude. In silence, peace prevails. Yeah, I do. And I think it, there's so much more to that. I think that, we could go, there's many different ways you could take it. So whatever it means to you, if you can find that space to just dive a little bit deeper into it. Yeah. I don't know. There's so much we could like philosophize about all of this. And it could go all different ways. I'm looking for I'm reading the description from the card.
Okay.
Maybe.
Like from the book, you mean?
Yep.
Okay.
Or maybe not. I can't even find the page. I'm not going to do it. So anyway, but I think that's a really deep thing. And I think that, again, taking a moment to, if you find it in prayer, great. If that's your moment, and it can be as simple as, honestly, it can be as simple as when you go to the bathroom, when you shut the door and you're in there by yourself, there's Reverend Michael used to say, this is a longer story, but there was somebody in one of the classes that had a kidney issue going on. And so his charge to the class was, when you go to the bathroom, pray for her. We called it the pee-pee prayer. And
I kind of remember this story.
Yeah, they would pray for her. And, but it was that designated time is the point of my story for this one. So it's like, if you just have a time you can appoint for prayer or for solitude or for quiet, and maybe it's while you're waiting at your Starbucks, if you order online and you sit in your car for a few minutes before you go in, or whatever it is. I think that it can be a super revolutionatory. Is that a word? Revolutionatory?
Revolutionary?
That's a good one. Yeah. Revolutionary. It could be whatever. It could be truly a moment where you.
You're saying revelation, not revolution. Revelation.
I said,
yeah, that is a word. Revelatory. That's totally a word.
Yeah. So, yeah. Thanks, Wayne, for your input. And yes, every soul is open to eternal progress. We have our own philosopher right here on New Thought Media Network, Wayne Baldwin.
And someone
everybody.
is Santa's favorite. Someone just said they're Santa's favorite. How do they
Yeah,
know?
There's a lot of us on here that are Santa's favorite. So the good news is, if you are out there claiming to be Santa's favorite, we are all one. So nobody needs to be upset, because we are all Santa's favorite.
I'll tell that to my 6-year-old.
There you go. So invite your 6-year-old self and your 36-year-old self and all of that to sit in the silence this week, to contemplate that solitude, to take a moment of prayer, and just try it in a new way. Try it in a new way. Dr. Natasha tried it in a new way, and now she likes to pray. Go figure. We sort of forced her to
so
do
much
it.
so it's in my calendar twice a day.
There you go.
And if something makes it in my calendar.
All right.
It's
So
important.
we're going to take a minute and pray out then.
All right, sounds good. Let's go.
Okay, let's do it. So just taking this moment to know that we are anchoring the solitude of spirit right here on earth, knowing that whatever place on the planet that you are, whatever hemisphere you are in, that you are experiencing love, that you are experiencing peace, that you are experiencing the power of the divine in, as, and through your life. And I know that as you take this out into your week, that the week is blessed and a blessing, and that the benefits of standing in that openness and that awareness and that anchoredness in God show up tenfold in your life, and that it returns to you in a magnitude of ways, that you return here with us next week and share your bounty of gifts and new beginnings. And this is what I know, and this is what I hold true for all of us. And so I just bless all of us, and I bless the planet, knowing that we are anchoring the love and this connection of spirit right here. And so it is.
Ashe.
Amen. Amin. Ashe. Así es.
Aho.
And as Wayne says, marshmallow, golden brown.
That's my cue.
All right. So we'll see you all here next week, everybody. Thanks a lot for joining us here on Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Feel free to come join us tomorrow on Rockin' the Love at noon. Noon somewhere.
Peace and blessings, everybody. Be fabulous.
Bye.